Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it, and thanks for indulging me while I enjoy a sip of my favorite soda pop, pop, pop. But today is a swell day because I got perhaps the most massive single book box I've ever gotten in my mailbox. I don't know how it fit. It's a big mailbox, but that's a big box. And the friendly neighborhood mail lady has delivered a package from one of my favorite publishers on God's green earth and one of my favorite people making books on God's green earth. That's Paul Miller's Earthling Publications. And I've shown you quite a few fabulous books from Earthling Publications from Paul Miller. But this is my first modern classics. It's a line that I reckon he's started up or restarted. I'm not sure which way that works. But anyway, I'm in. I'm on. I bought a bundle. A bundle that includes Little Heaven by Nick Cutter as well as Come With Me by Ronald Melfi. Both are books that I haven't read, and I'm mitigating that right now. I'm on page 200 and something of Little Heaven. That's the right. I had to make sure it wasn't upside down. And I'm really digging this book so far. It's not what I expected, and that's a good thing. So let me just tell you briefly a little synopsis about this story. A trio of mismatched mercenaries, Micah Shagru, Minerva Atwater, and Ebenezer Elkins, colloquially known as the Englishman, is hired by young Ellen Belhaven for a deceptively simple task. Check in on her nephew, who may have been taken against his will to a remote New Mexico backwoods settlement called Little Heaven, where a clandestine religious cult holds sway. And that's where I'm at right now. They are in Little Heaven as I speak. They've been rescued from a hole, and now they're starting to figure out that this place is weird. But shortly after they arrive, things begin to turn ominous. There are stirrings in the woods and over the treetops, and above all else, the brooding shape of a monolith known as the Black Rock casts its terrible pall. I love that word, pall. Paranoia and distrust soon grip the settlement. Escape routes are gradually cut off as events spiral toward madness. Hell, or the closest thing to it, invades Little Heaven. All present here are now forced to take a stand and fight back. But whatever has set its dark eye on Little Heaven is marshaling its powers, and it wants them all. So this is the copy that I'm reading, the cheapest copy that I could get from Gallery Books. I don't remember where I got it. I think I bought it on Amazon, and I got it as cheaply as I could because I wanted to be able to read cheaply and not worry about taking good care of the book, although I still take good care of the books. But back to the matter at hand. This is my first Modern Classics edition from Earthling Publications, the first one that I've purchased, and I can't wait to open it up and see what it looks like. And here I'm using a Glock 81, a Glock, go figure, Glock 81 knife, and that's not a paid sponsorship. It just happens to be the one that I chose to grab to open up this box. And no matter how good or bad the knife is, it takes skill. It takes somebody knowing where the seams are to cut, where to cut, what to open. But eventually, a guy like me can figure it out. And it's a great big box. Paul Miller Earthling Publications does a lot of things well, a lot of things greatly. And one of those things that he does well and greatly is make sure that when you order a book, that you get it in the condition that you expect, and that is tippity top. And although I'm making a mess dropping these things all over the place, but that aside, now I got to figure out how to get this last bit of bubble protective stuff off, and it's sticky on the end. Paul Miller is doing it to it. So actually what I have is a great big bag. There we go. A great big bubble bag. And then finally, let's get this out without dropping anything. And my expectations would not have prepared me for how nice this thing actually is. I'm ogling it on camera when I should be showing you, but I paid for it. But anyway, this slipcase, let's move this out of the way here. Give me some more space. This slipcase is so nice, and this book is big and it's heavy, and you can see it, the type of cloth. Let's see if I can get the grain in there, and you see the hot foil stamping hell. So Little Heaven is a town. It's not a town, it's a weird place, but it's more like hell. And then on the back, for those of you who like to put your books on the shelves the wrong way so that the slipcase could keep dust or sun off of the book's spine, this one is going to please you because it does look so good that way. This spine looks great with the title, the author, and the logo from the company. And just to show you that hot foil stamping there, trying to show the grain on the slipcase. But man, my first modern classic, which means this isn't actually my first slipcase from Earthling. I've got a book called The Thicket by Joe R. Lansdale that was published long ago. My very first Earthling book. Before I knew what Earthling was, I bought that book. Probably bought it on eBay, probably. But it came with a slipcase. But typically, they do not. And just looking at this construction, the way this is built, it's good, it's stout, it looks so good. I love slipcases. Books are better when they have slipcases on them, especially when they're buttes directly from the publisher. But then look here, you have printed boards, printed cloth boards. This book is cloth bound, but the flames, the flames grow higher on the boards. It looks so good. And again, this is a good sized book. It's tall, it's big, it's something like 10 inches. I break out the old measuring tape to figure that out, but the spine of the book also looks so good. For those of you who like to put your books on the shelves the correct way, this will look fabulous. Also, what else? Smithsonian binding, quality stuff here. And I believe it's printed on Mohawk super fine paper. And these Glenn Chadbourne illustrations, just, I opened it up to this. Again, I'm not expecting this. You open a cover, you expect on a quality book to see good looking end papers, maybe some razzle dazzle on them. But to see that, it's fabulous. And I wonder what I'm in store for, because what I've read so far does not lead me up to this. So a bit of a spoiler alert on the end papers, perhaps. But this Glenn Chadbourne artwork, and this is this right here, the signature page signed by Nick Cutter and by Glenn Chadbourne beautifully. Mine is copy number 7 of 235. 7 is the perfect number, if I'm not mistaken. It's a good number to have. I'll take it. And I'll try to keep it. Hopefully I can maintain from here on out with these. I've got a lot of faith in Paul Miller as a curator for my collection. I read a lot of books simply because Paul Miller published them. I read a lot of authors. Nick Cutter, for example, never read the guy. Read him because of Paul Miller. Guys like Philip Fracassi, Tyler Jones, Jonathan Jans, Ian Rogers, some fabulous authors. I probably would never have read, but I had not read yet until Paul Miller introduced these people into my life. But this is a beautiful edition right off the bat. Quality and heavy. I cannot just explain what it feels like in hand. Just so you take and you feel that. Feel how thick that Mohawk super fine paper is. It's thick paper and it really looks good. I can see the threads or the texture in this paper, almost like a business card. But what else? There are illustrations within, and I'll show you what I can show you. I may not be able to show everything, but maybe I can. I don't know. The end papers on the back look the same as the front, but let's see what else is in here. And I see a lot just by looking at the page ends. It looks like quite a few illustrations. So let's do our best to see what I can find in here. And right up front, we have our frontispiece. And Check it out. It does look good. All right, what else? This is a big book. Glad to have it on the shelf. I'm glad I was able to jump in on this little deal, this bundle. So it was a bundle with both books that I just mentioned. Total price being $250 plus shipping. That was the deal I jumped in on. I don't know if there are bundle deals left, but if there are, I'll put a link in the description so you can go check it out and hop in on the bundle or hop in on one book or the other, whatever you prefer. But I do strongly recommend Earthling Publications. And this book right here, this quality that's in hand, it exceeds expectations. Sometimes when I buy a book, for example, I bought a lot of books from Earthling Publications, and I wonder, okay, what makes this better than the other stuff that I've bought, the production-wise? Besides the slipcase, I know it's coming with a slipcase, but when it's in my hands, when I feel the girth, the weight, the quality of the slipcase, the quality of this book itself, seeing the full page, full color illustrations, all that stuff costs money, and it adds true value, and some black and white illustrations. And it adds true value to the collectible book itself, to the reading experience, if you like to read the limited edition books, which I'm the kind of guy. When I read, I tend to prefer to read, actually physically read, books that I don't have to worry about. Like I showed you, I bought a soft floppy paperback copy of Little Heaven to read. And here's why. That book went in a suitcase, took a trip to Lookout Mountain, and went out into the woods with me and stuff like that. Now, if I'm going to take this particular book, for example, to read, I'm going to read this book, I could sit here at the table and very gently and delicately take good care of this thing. And in the best of situations, here's what you'll see if you're going to read this particular edition. And in the best of situations, be done with it. And almost zero perceptible change to the book based on the fact that I have read it. But then if I'm going to get in a truck and go to Miami or Fort Payne, Alabama, or Tuscumbia, or who knows where else I might go, Tawakana, Oklahoma. Is that a place? Tawakana? I think I went to Tawakana one time. Go to places like that. The worry in reading a limited edition book bothers me more. And I'd like to have nice books on the shelf, so I typically will read the cheapest version of a book I can get. And then I'll have, for the books that I love or like a lot, I'll try to have the best limited edition versions I can get, with some caveats. I typically don't go for lettered editions. I typically am more of a numbered guy. And this kind of fits right in my wheelhouse. It's a high-end numbered edition book. And there are 235 copies, and I got copy number 7. It's off the table. It's on the shelf. So if you want copy number 7, be prepared to pay big bucks. I'm talking 4 figures. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I got mine. I hope you can get yours. Now, so far, I'm really liking this book. I can't vouch for the second half of the book or even the second 2/3 of the book. I'm probably about a third of the way through. I can't vouch for it beyond that, but a lot of other people do, including one of my other favorite authors, Walking God's Green Earth, Robert McCammon, vouched for this book. A lot of folks have, and I'm excited. That's why I bought it. I'm excited to have it, excited to get it in the collection, finish the story, and hopefully like it enough to where I'm going to have to read more from Nick Cutter. And it's a beautiful edition by Earthling Publications. Thank you, Paul Miller, for hooking a brother up, even though I paid for the book, hooking a brother up with quality, good shipping, good protection, good customer service, follow-up emails. You make a purchase, he sends you an email wanting to verify this or verify that. Good stuff. And that's all I can expect, is somebody to do their best for the customers, do their best for the product, offer value for value. And Earthling Publications does that in spades. one of my favorite publishers on God's green earth. And with that being said, I can think of no more lies to tell. So thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. And say la vie, baby. Do.